Don't worry, I'll get it right. I'm not going to get it wrong 2 days on the trot. Hi guys, and welcome back to Regrexit. Brexit Britain, a country where the Israeli ambassador to Britain described as racist, anti-Semitic, Islamophobic, homophobic, sexist, bigoted, xenophobic, and all under the leadership of our Prime Minister Jeremy Corbyn, who we voted in 2019. In 2 short years, right, this man has taken this country down to the lowest place it's ever been. Highest cost of living crisis ever. Over 6 million people on the waiting list for the NHS. The NHS in complete crisis. Highest figures ever. All down to the leadership of Jeremy Corbyn. Oh, I've done it again. It was supposed to be Boris Johnson. I'm so sorry. 2 days on the trot. Also, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages you sent me, and a special thanks to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go through all the messages, I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages for definite. You know, today we start with a brand new sport that I've seen, right? In fact, they've got world championships, right? And in our new sport, right? And it is a combat sport, which is pillow fighting. There's grown men and grown women in a ring, whacking each other with pillows. They made it into a sport, and they had the. I believe there's now a new world champion in pillow fighting. I don't know, right? But after this attack, on KP, I just think the world has gone nuts. I just like pillow motherfucking fighting. What the hell we're going to come up with next? So we have a massive cost of living crisis, right? And you know, while yesterday the Chancellor was giving his statement about it, about what he's going to do to help, right, the little people, right? And I'm not talking about the leprechauns, because you know how I feel about leprechauns, because they're the people who have been messing with the DUP's heads, right? The little people, the leprechauns, all right? So the Tory MPs, are just sitting there. You know, these guys are just sitting there laughing yesterday when Sunak was talking about the cost of living crisis that this country that we are going through, because none of them are affected by it, right? All you see, all them rich presenters, right, who have convinced people, oh, you know, the Tories are okay to vote for. I mean, you wouldn't want to vote for Jeremy Corbyn, no. You won't want to do that. Right? What you want to vote for is you want to vote for people who are going to bring us to a stage where we've got the highest cost of living ever. Every time I say the highest cost of living, because it's ever, right? So you could go back to times of like just rice, just gruel, because that is what the little people of this country will be living on, because these people, right, look at us as peasants. You know, I was thinking yesterday, right, that if Simon Cowell's in a room, right, you know that if Jeff Bezos walks in that room, Simon Cowell is now a fucking pauper. He's got £50 million and he's a pauper if Jeff Bezos walks in that room. So I was just thinking, in the pyramid, in the pyramids, in the great scheme of things, where do you think that puts us? Look down. As far as you can, right? Because in that pyramid, we are not even, we're not even on the ground. We're helping hold up the foundations. That's where we are. Okay, that is how low we are. When I tell you, right, when you consider, right, Bezos and Carol, right, just imagine where we are in that scenario. If Bezos can walk into a room, right, and make Carol look like a pauper, right? Because remember, Carol makes all of us look like a pauper. All of us put together, he makes us look like, right? So Bezos walks in there and Carol looks like the poor. Carol's with us. Right? He's only just above us. He's standing on us while we're holding up the foundations. Right? So we've got like £700 added to our bills, right? And the chancellor thought the best thing he could do was give us a £200 rebate that we've all got. No, hold on. Because a rebate is money that you is money. I'm sure rebate is money that you don't have to pay back. So we've all got a £200 loan, right, that we're going to have to pay back over the next 5 years, maybe interest free. I don't see what kind of sense that makes, really. I don't see what, especially yeah, with the price of food as well. That's just going to be rocketing as well. So I don't see what kind of sense that makes, right? Giving people £200. Well, they always say, right, that we can't really we can't do this like universally because, like, people that are millionaires will get it as well. Well, now they've just done that. We'll just say, well, we'll just give everybody 200, and you'll pay it back. Don't matter if you're a multi-millionaire, right, or you're living on a council estate in Sunderland, right? We all get the same. That's it. We all get the same. Because that is called levelling up, and then they're taking off another £150, I think, off some people's council tax, right? As to say, yeah, that's really going to help. Because let me tell you, right, you see, when they take money off of your council tax, right, you don't feel that. You're never going to feel it. Right, the way how these guys work here, with these little monies, what they're talking about, you're never going to feel it, right? Because these guys, right, you've got to understand, right? These guys, they spend over £200 on dinner. They go to a restaurant and boom, over £200 they'll just spend on dinner. That's it. Right? And so you can see, £200 is an insignificant amount of money, right? Just like £1,000, it's an insignificant amount of money. Right, and these guys all know that. They all know that, right? And that's the reason why they know to themselves, you know what, we need like £7,000 or £8,000 a month to live on. That's why they know that, because they know the truth of what things really cost. They know what it really costs, but they don't have to really think about it, because if they was in trouble, they could just claim £6,000 for their to pay their energy costs, right? And that's on top of the 100 and whatever grand that they get paid, because remember, they get paid like 83 grand or whatever, but they also get £23,000 on top of that, right, for their to pay their rent. So we should just add that in, right, to their wages anyway, instead of them saying, oh well, we only get 83 grand. Right, rather than, right, the 105 or whatever it is they are actually getting, right? And there's a lot of pretending going on with these people, because remember, they order these things individually. Right? It doesn't just come in one package. They spread it out all individually. So when you look at it, you just look and say, oh well, you know what? Yeah, oh poor loves, they're only getting 83 grand a year. Yeah, but what about all of the other little benefits that they get with that? Like the 23 grand that they do get, right, for their rent, or the 6 grand they are allowed to collect, right, to pay their utility bills, right? We're not talking about, we're also not talking about like here their travel costs or their fuel costs. I mean, all of these things are catered for as well within there, right? So these guys are not in the same reality as us, right? A chancellor who's sat there, right, a man who's buying jackets for £850 and £1,000, right, and wearing flip flops that cost £100, right? They are not in reality. They cannot understand your life at all. But this is the reason why, they had to poison you against Jeremy Corbyn. They needed to do that, right, so that they could carry on abusing you. Right? And I hope, you know what? It doesn't really, none of it really matters now, because we're not going to get like another Michael Foot or Jeremy Corbyn for another 40 or 50 years. So none of that. It's all irrelevant. Do you know what I mean? The Labour Party has been lost to the right wing. Do you know what I mean? So you could, I've done it again. So you could just imagine now, right? That even if Labour do come into power, nothing's going to change for the working classes. Your life is not going to get any better if Labour come into power anyway. It's not going to change. Nothing's going to get any better, right? It's not for you. Nothing's going to happen, right? Your life is still going to be the same shit as it always was. Right, because Keir Starmer's talking about the little people, they can get like £10 an hour and be happy with that, right? And people are like, I think that's pretty reasonable, because you're arses. That's the reason why they can do this to you, because you're fucking idiots, right? So you allow them to abuse you, right? Look, Boris Johnson lost yesterday. He lost four advisors yesterday, right? Namira Mazir, right? But she's just a gatekeeper anyway. Do you know what I mean? Because I think she's a Muslim, right? But she's an Asian Muslim, because Muslims can come in all different colours. That's why, again, Muslim is not a race, and I don't get no arguments from the Muslims about that. Right, so she resigned, right, because you know what she said. She said it was a poor error of judgment from Boris Johnson, right, when he accused Keir Starmer, right, of not prosecuting Jimmy Savile, and she told him to apologise, and Boris Johnson went and he made some half-hearted bullshit nonsense and just said some bollocks and pretended to apologise, but couldn't really. So she's gone, right? And then you've got like Jack Doyle and Martin Reynolds, and I can't remember the other one's name, right? But the most important entity to leave Downing Street, right, is Larry the cat. Larry has not been seen since he handed in his collar, right? But Larry's just like, you know what, yeah, this whole dead cat thing that you keep doing, Johnson, right, is not funny anymore. It used to be a bit of a laugh, right? Me, right, and the tabby round the corner used to laugh about it, but it's no longer funny, right? Because obviously Boris Johnson's dead cat this time has come back to bite him in the fucking arse. That's what's happened to Boris Johnson this time, right? And you know what? The shit serves him right, because this time he went much too far, much too far. I listened to the radio last night, right? And a woman come on the radio and she said that for the last year, or well, anyway, the Tories have been in 12 years, so for the last however many years, right, all she's been eating is soup and beans, right, and she can't put no heating on in her house, right, and she's just got one room in the back where she is all the time. Do you know what I mean? But you see, this is all dangerous, because you don't really want old people just sitting in one place all the time. I mean, they need to get out. If they can get out and get about, that's better for them. Do you know what I mean? You don't really need them like just especially if they can only use one room in their house. All of that's just ridiculous. But you see, again, right, when I was listening to radio last night, right, I was listening to Ian Dell first of all, yeah, and he's just a Tory who have convinced people, right, that you know what, it's okay to vote for the Tories. He's convinced people of this while he's sitting down there with his millionaire self, right, knowing that none of this shit is going to affect him, right, and he he knows when to put when he's speaking to people on the radio. Is it? Well, I can imagine how bad it is for you. No, you can't imagine how bad it is for them, right? When you're the person who can just say, well, you know what? Yeah, I'm just buying an electric car. I'm gonna change my car to an electric car next week. These are the type of people who have convinced, right, the underlings, right, the poor, right, that you know what, it's okay, that the Tories will be best for you. Boris Johnson's your working class hero, right? And what have you got now? You've got the highest cost of living price crisis ever done, ever, right? And you see, I was listening to Tom Sawbrick, and you know what really got me when he said yesterday, oh, was Jeremy Corbyn right? Because you know why? Because they have put 54% on your energy costs, right? And we've got EDF, the French the French energy company, right? We've got them, right? And they said and the French government have said to them, no, you can only raise your prices by 4%. 4%. Ours has been raised by 54%. Right. This French company owns a lot of our electric and gas companies over here. Right. So we are subsidising the French. We're subsidising them. Right, so that they can get cheaper bills, right? So not only are we taking all of their migrants, which is a good thing, right? Not only are we doing that, right? We're also helping them with their cost of living. So no wonder the French didn't want us to leave the EU. no one. Oh, hold on. Oh, well, but even if it was in the EU, they'd still be doing this, wouldn't they? Yeah, they would. Do you know why that is? Because when you sell off, right, the all the goods in your country, then you've lost control of it. And that's what's happened in this country. These fools have lost complete control. Right. And now you've got people openly, presenters openly saying on the radio, oh, I wonder if Jeremy Corbyn was right, that we should have taken back all of our utility companies. When they see the French can say to their power companies, no, you can only raise it by 4%. That's it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to cut out from this one because I only wanted to do like 15 minutes, but I've just done 16 minutes. So I've got a lot more to speak about, so I'm going to do that on another video. But anyway, guys, this is By Any Means Necessary. I'm DMC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.